All of you out there that love cricket, I know you're listening to this podcast. That's right, it's another episode of This Sunday Cricketer. I'm your host, Joshua McQuaid, and that's right, I'm here today wearing a suit and a lovely white shirt to all you guys listening out there. That's what I'm wearing because today we're doing a dive into the IPL auction. Now, we're only really going to be looking at New Zealand players as I feel I only follow New Zealand, really. So we're going to look at the Mega Auction and what happened to the 24 New Zealanders that put their name in to the hat, as well as maybe some other big names that also got selected elsewhere because the Mega Auction happens, which means that players can only be retained here and there. It turns out only 27 players were retained in the 8 teams, and there are 2 new teams that came in to the IPL this season in Lucknow Super Giants and Team Abinadad, who purchased 3 players each, leaving a flood of big-name cricketers on the market. The team franchises can pick up 25 players with 8 overseas. If you know, you know. So how there were 24 New Zealanders involved over the 50 among the 590 from around the world. Australia had 47, the West Indies had 34, had the biggest representation among the 220 foreign players, while there are 370 Indians among the mix. Trent Boult and Lockie Ferguson led this way and will be the first blackouts up, with Boult in the marquee group up first. As well as Boult, there is alongside Boult and Ferguson is Jimmy Neesham, Adam Milne, Finn Allen, Scott Kuggeleijn, Mitchell Santner and Tim Seifert, as they all look to return to being contracted like they were last year. While experienced internationals like Tim Southee, Colin de Gromholm, Colin Munro, Ishodi and Gupta are all in the mix. There is also reserve players in 40 reserve for Canterbury T20 Guns, Cam Fletcher and Henry Shipley, who've also put their name into the hat, and gifted Auckland spinner Adeke Shock. A contract for any of the trio would be a massive surprise as they are fairly unknowns. The Kiwi head coaches helping make the big decision: Steve Fleming and Brendan McCullum and Mike Henson. You might be. There's also Devon Conway, which it seems wasn't mentioned. He's also up for grabs. I don't think that's all of them. There must be some others I think are missing from that lot. You are probably wondering why Jameson isn't included in that 24. And that's because Jameson decided that he wants to take a step away from IPL to focus on his game. That's right. If you'd seen his performances for New Zealand and the IPL, they weren't that great. So you're probably wondering, how does this work? And that's right. After the marquee groups are auctioned, the others are sold in pods of batsmen, bowlers, wicketkeepers and all-rounders. Ferguson up the first fast bowlers group alongside Australia's Josh Hazlewood, while Wellington 5 his teammates Devon Conway and Finn Allen in the same batting group of England, Alex Hales and Australia's Chris Lynn. Chris Lynn hasn't played for a while. I don't know why he doesn't, to be honest. He's quite a good cricketer. So you got Lucknow and Raiju Kaur. How's the Indian? I guess the Indian wasted 100,000 rupees, or around New Zealand $22,000, and the core of 10 million rupees, or $200,000. At the last year's auction, South African fast bowler Chris Morris broke the record when he was secured by Rushdin Royals for 16.25 core, 3.25 million. So we have New Zealand cricketers at their reserves, and this is what the reserves are. With $400,000 for Trent Boult and Lockie Ferguson, $300,000 for Jimmy Neesham, Glenn Phillips, Adam Milne, Tim Southee and Colin Munro, $200,000 for Devon Conway, Mitchell Santner, Colin de Gromholm, $150,000 for Todd Astle, Martin Guptill, Scott Kuggeleijn, $100,000 for Ish Sodhi, Finn Allen, Daryl Mitchell, Tim Seifert, Neil Wagner, Hamish Bennett, Blair Tigner and Nauru Critchin, and $40,000 for Cam Fletcher, Adeke Ashok and Henry Shipley. Now the marquee group, that are the main ones that I would probably have a look at as well, are Rajvindra Ashwin from India, Trent Boult, Pat Cummins, Quinton de Nock, Shinkar Dhawan, Fat Duplessis, Ashish Iwa, Kadakasu Rabada, Mohammad Sami, and David Warner are the big guns. Now, let's have a look at how the Black Caps fared. Now, IP Action Black Caps fast bowler Lockerson is the $2 million man. He was picked up for $2 million in the Indian League by Bangalore, like on Saturday, before Team Krishna snapped. Waving the paper. So there was a mega auction, and he was bought up and snared for Goja Titans for 10 core rupees, which is $2 million in this franchise, which is almost getting up to Kyle Jameson, who went for 15. And to be honest, if I was telling you right now, Ferguson is the better look. Trent Boult who was sold earlier in the marquee group, went for 1.6 million to Rockshire Royals. With only 2 news up in the first day of the auction, with 22 more to follow on Sunday. So the first two place bowlers were sold on the first day, which gives me some indication to how this works and things. I don't follow this much, but yeah, our pace bowlers were sold for quite a good amount of money, showing that they are really strong in the likes of it. We're going to dive now into IPL auction, and we're going to have a look at the 11 New Zealanders who sold and the 13 who didn't. So it was Steve Fleming who picked up late on Sunday, or I think on Sunday, he picked up Devon Conway for his reserve for 200,000, which is a surprise when Devon Conway's averaging about 60 or 50 to 60 in T20s, and is probably one of Wellington's best batsmen, as well as New Zealand's best T20 batsman at the moment. Mitch Santner sold for a healthy 380,000 alongside Adam Milne, which is a prize for me, because, in all fairness, they're not better than Devon Conway, and they went for 380,000. So, you know what? Who the fuck knows about this shit? When IPL apparently spending fucking way too much money on Mitch Santner and Adam Milne. There was 11 Black Cats were picked across the first 2 days, and Daryl Mitchell, Jimmy Neesham, Tim Southey, Tim Syve, and Glenn Phillips were all sold in the final segment, the accelerated auction. They were first timers, I think, or Daryl Mitchell was a first timer. Mitchell went for 150,000, while Neesham went for 300,000. Both went to Russia Royals. Southey to the Breen McCullum coach Colloquium Knights Raiders for 300,000. Seifert to Dali Capitals for 100,000, and Phillips to Sunrisers Hyderabad for 300,000, where he will be a teammate of Kane Williamson's. That's good to them. Phillips and Williamson together. Let's see how they go. The Black Cats also, they couldn't quite match the big prices of their fast bowling teammates from Saturday night, as Lockie Ferguson fetched 2 million, and as I said before, Trent Bolt picked up 1.6. Conway, with his T20 international record of T20 matches, batting average 50 and a strike rate of 139 plus wicket-keeping ability, Conway's expected to be sought after. But only attracted one bid. I think he's very unknown in the IPL, so I think they're a little bit worried of how he will perform. But if you're looking at him from an aspect of a player, you'd have to pick him. So Fleming was not present in the auction, but his colleagues were very keen to bolster their lineup, and they picked up Devon Conway after they spent 2.8 million on the India seamer Deepak Kashara on Sunday, who playing well against West Indies in the 50 over matches, so we'll see how he does in those 220 matches as well. But yeah, so it's a very big day. So it was interesting because Mike Hassan picked up Finn Allen for 160,000. Archer's reserve was set at 100,000, so he almost came close to being as paid as much as Devon Conway, even though Devon Conway is miles above the rest. Now, among those to miss from the 24 players was Ish Sodhi, Martin Guptill, Colin Munro. Colin Munro is a surprise, as he has been owning it in the BPL. So I'm very surprised that he missed out. But it's no surprise the others missed out, in Shipley, Cam Fletcher, Aaron Kitchen, and Ashok. I'm not surprised that those ones missed it. So Black Cats was among 27 players. He was retained in the auction for 2.8 million. Liam Livingston was, I think, bought. But yeah, Black Cats here. So this is the full list. So the unsold was Ish Sodhi, Todd Astle, Martin Guptill, Scott Kugeline, Colin Munro, Neil Wagner, Cam Fletcher, Adit Ashok, Con de Gromholm, Hamish Bennett, Blair Tigner, Andrew Kitchen, Henry Shipley. Now, the only one surprising there that maybe didn't get a pick up was probably Colin Munro, and I'd have to say Con de Gromholm. But the others, maybe Ish Sodhi. I'm not surprised in the others. Hamish Bennett and Blair Tigner are not the best fast bowlers in the world. There are better ones out there to play international cricket, while they do not. So I would have not given them my due diligence at all, so I'm glad that they were not. But the top auction prices for this year was Ishan Kishan for 3.0 million, who's Indian, Deepak Chara for 2.8, Shin Iyer for 2.44, Liam Livingston for 2.29, who I think is overrated as fuck, by the way, Windu Hazaranga for 2.14, Nicholas Paran for 2.14, Hashim Paral for 2.14, and Shadak Fakar for 2.14, and Ferguson. Now, there is one name I don't know if he was in the IPL auction, and that is Van der Dusten, who I'm surprised it was not in there, because I think he maybe did sell. He did sell, but he only didn't get much money on there. But he is, I'm surprised, not one of people to be up there more, as he is one of South Africa's best T20 batsmen, alongside Chris Morrison, who didn't get selected for South Africa and hasn't looked back to be in South Africa soon, but he averages 38.9 in T20s, and he averages 38.2 in T20s for alongside that. Must be I think, I'm not sure because it doesn't say he's played in the IPL yet, but yeah, he averages 38.2 in T20, so I don't know why he wasn't selected. Now, I'm not sure if Chris Morrison was back in it or was retained. I think he might have been, because he is a big player, and I'm surprised if he wouldn't have been retained by the team for him. Now, he is 34 years old. He's quite old, but he averages 22.1 in the IPL, but only 14.8 in the T20 International, so I'm not surprised that he was dropped. I'm surprised that he was looked at as probably one of the best players for last year's auctions, when he really isn't. But we're going to have a look at the 10 different teams and their possible 11s after the auction now, so we'll dive right into that. Mumbai Indians pursue entry with an iron 48 core, which I'm not sure how much it is. Iron 0.110 core was their purse left. Their biggest buyers were Ishan Kishan for 15.25 core, which I think is close to 3 billion, 2.8. Tim David 8.25 core. Joffrey Archer for 8 core. The possible 11 is Rohit Sharma as captain number opening with Ishan Kishan, the wicketkeeper, 3 Shikhar Yadav, 4 Tilak Verma, 5 Tim David, 6 Kieran Pollard, 7 Fabian Allen, 8 Jadav Udakat, 9 Tywin Mills, 10 Makarad, and 11 Jasper Barras. So they've got 4 internationals and four overseas players, foreign players in that lineup. Now, I have to say that Kieran Pollard probably could pick up. Fabian Allen, not the best, and Tyrone Mills is a waste of fucking money. Now, they did pick up Joffrey Archer, but he's not playing this season, as far as I know. That I know he is not playing, so he actually is missing out overall in playing. Is playing this shit, which is a bit sad, but I think he's going to be back next year. Now, he has played an international, Tim David, he is a Singapore cricketer, and this is going to be his second season, it seems, in the IPL. He's quite young at 25 years old, but I guess he can't really play top-level cricket in Singapore. But he averages 6.5 in his matches he's played for Singapore, probably against weak teams, but he got picked up, and hopefully he does well for the Mumbai Indians in this year. They raised eyebrows of create more intrigue over the 2 auction days, entering the auction with a lot of money. The second they ranked price of roughly 28 cores, the biggest buy, Ishan Kishan, on the first day, would end up the most expensive buy of the auction and the second highest paid for an Indian player. But yes, they have some weak points in their team, with Quinn Knock up front and the power-hitting Pandey brothers in the lower order. Middle order, with 3 of Mumbai's biggest match winners in the previous 4-year cycle. Mumbai might not have managed to fully replace them despite the auctions of Tim David and Fabian Allen. Also, absent is a top-quality Indian spinner. I will have to agree with that. I feel that the team is probably a bit weaker if you're not having Quinton Knock and the Pandey brothers anymore, which is a bit sad, but that's what the Mega Auction is. It changes up the teams, means you can't hoard all the good players. CSK's possible 11 is going, so Shen and Super Kings. Their one is Rudiv Galdwar, 2 Devon Conway, 3 Mohan Ali, 4 Abhijit Radu, 5 MS Dhoni, who's still playing, 6 Ravi Jawandra, 7 Savan Dubey, 8 Dwayne Bravo, 9 Deepak Shakar, 10 Adam Milne, and 11 Chusha Dishapan. So if I had to say, at the moment, looking at the 2 teams, they've got the strongest team. They've got Devon Conway, who's averaging 50 internationally. Mohan Ali, who can hit, but is also a very good spinner. Dwayne Bravo, who's now retired from international cricket, but still a very good player. Adam Milne is a very good pace bowler. They picked up Deepak Shahar, which I think is a very good Indian pace bowler, so I've got to give them that as their probably best players. But their biggest buyers were Deepak Shah at 14 core and Abhijit Radu at 6.75. They left over 2.95 core, but they picked up probably a very good, strong team. I think they have a chance of winning this. They are the defending champions. And I think that they're very good. But their weak point, it says here, CSK may possibly have financed a more established overseas opener. They could have fancied them, but they've got Devon Conway, and I'm telling you this now, and I quote, and I cross my heart, I hope to die, Devon Conway is going to be one of the best IPL players this coming season. I'm telling you that right now. He will be. he will be. But they managed to pick up some school players, and Krishna would not be affected. Devon Coy is set to play the role of Fa Duplessis. Shuan Dube could now be a more batting-oriented version of Shallow Fucker, and Adam Milne a pace replacement for Josh Hazelwood. Now, they're replacing Josh Hazelwood with Adam Milne, which shows their weakening aside, because Josh Hazelwood is a lot better than Adam Milne, in all fairness, so I really wouldn't give too much thought to that change. Now we've got Lucknow Super Giants. I think they're one of the new teams. I think could be wrong. But they've got KL Rahul, Quinton de Nock, Mashin Pandey, Marcus Stoinis, Deepak Honda, Dunal Panja, Jason Holder, Kay Gunther, Mark Wood, Ravi Bishwa, and Avin Khan. I have to say they've probably got one of a very strong betting lineup with Marcus Stoinis in there. I think they've got a very good fucking team. Now, they spent all their money in the INR 80 core. They pushed up Avangard for 10 and Jason Holder for 8.75 with their largest buys. Now, they don't have a spinner in their team, as it states here. Their weak point is there is no glaring weak point, but the spin attack could have done for a more experienced name. Now, yeah, I agree. They probably could have. They don't have a known spinner, but I would say that at the moment, I think that the winner will be the Super Kings, picking up again. But the Super Giants look good. They have a good team. They picked up Marcus Stoinis, so it'll be interesting this year. Now we have Delhi Capitals. They picked up David. They have David Warner, Pishav Shaw, Mitchell Marsh, Rishabh Pant, Madip Singh, Rovman Powell, Axar Patel, Shudhu Fakna, Kabul Radev, Anshin Nurjid, and Chitan Nakasha. Which if I'm looking at this, I'm telling you right now, very, very fucking strong team. Very fucking strong team. Now, so their weak point here could have been another overseas fast bowler. Could have been helped. Keeping in mind that Archie Nugent is still recovering from a hip injury and has not played since the T20 World Cup. Now, he's a South African. He's a very good player, though. But yeah, I would probably give my money on them very much putting an effort in. They have a very good team, some very good openers, and some very good batsmen. I rate them. But yeah, let's carry on. Let's have a look at this team's BK's possible 11 is Shakhtar Darwin, Magna Agwal, Johnny Burstow, Liam Livingston, Shaka Khan, Rashid Darwin, Habibar, Odin Smith, who looking very good for West Indies in the recent ODI series against India. Rakshanu Rabada, who's a South African, Ajay Singh, and Rahul Chadha. So they've only got 4 overseas players, and their weakest points were Padav might have possibly wanted another Indian option for their middle order. True, but why? When you've got fucking overseas players you can use now, I think that they've got a very strong team with Johnny Burstow in there at 3. Could be a very good player for them to actually do it, and they'll be very good in understanding all this. Now we go on to Colloquium Knights Raiders, their team. We'll have a look at them. They've got Vigna Iyer, Atikasha Rahan, Shearis Iyer, who's been fucking an insane good really player, Nishif Rana, Sam Billings, Andre Russell, Sunil Naran, Pat Cummings, Sheridan Madev, Unit Yadev, and Varun Kakarafi, which I think is a decent team. Now, this is the weak points that they stated here. While Akashika Rahan lends experience and could be part of KKR's leadership group, can he bat aggressively? A requirement if he opens. I don't know. I've seen him bat before. I don't really think he can, but we'll see. Alex Hales is possibly their better opener on paper, but it might be tricky to fit him into their 11. Now, I think Alex Hales needs to go into that team because Alex Hales is got a strong average for England, and he needs to be playing. Now, Alex Hales, I think, if I remember this correctly, had a fucking, insane average, or it might have been, I might be thinking of the wrong play. Yeah, no, English cricket, yeah. I think, he had a decent average, if I remember. 31. So he did quite insane average, and they were saying they need to fit him in. What do you mean, fit him in? He fucking goes right into the team. I don't care who you've got, but you put him in. That's who I would pick. I'd put him into the team 100% over Iyer or Rahane. But yeah, so we'll move on to Russia Royals 11 now. They've got Jashavid Jaswal, Diput Pakadwal, Sanju Sampson, Joss Butler, Shumaran Hitmeyer, Jimmy Neesham, as I know him, Ryan Parag, Ravindra Ashwin, Trent Bolt, Yadav Shanwal, and Pradit Krishna. Now, they've picked up Krishna, who has played very well at the moment, and is a very good player. Now, their weak points is the opening pair of Diput Patel and Yadav Jaswal lacks experience. Also, both are left-handers, which oppositions oppositions can exploit. Unless Josh Butler opens and pushes one of them into the middle order, another issue could be the lower middle order. If they go with Nathan Cordonile in their 11, they get appear better short. If they opt for Jimmy Nisham, their death bowling could become a weak point. I agree. It's quite interesting. The Royals might be up for a challenge with this one in this year. I think they're going to have to push hard and play well. And I don't know if I think they might finish 4th or 5th. I don't think they'll do so well. Now we went to Sunrisers Hyderabad, which I think is the new team. And they picked up Adam Makram, Rahul Tripathi, Kane Williamson. Oh, no, sorry, this is not the new team. Kane Williamson, Nicholas Paran, Abhishek Sharma, Abdul Samid, Washington Sundar, Ramesh Shepherd, Budil Kumar, Imran Makal, and T. Narayan. Now, I don't think it's a strong team. If Wilson is unavailable for even a single game, SRH will have a big void in their top 3. They also lack a top quality spinner, Indian or overseas. They will have to manage with Washington Sundar, Shizul Gopal, and a few others from their part-timers. Now, that does worry me from the look of their team, that they don't really have a strong team, in all fairness. They've got an all-right team, but they don't have an amazing team. And I think that they could do better, and that they will need to do better, and they will have to, pick up some very interesting players to possibly push their ways. Now, Royal Challengers Bangalore is supposed to be one of the better teams. I think this year they've got Francis Duplessis, Virat Kohli, Anju Fawat, Glenn Maxwell, Dinesh Karthik, Makabul Loma, Shabis Ahmed, Wandu Hasaranga, Karel Patel, Josh Hazelwood, and Mohammad Siraj. So they've got one of the better, I think, strengthening bowling attacks and batting attacks in that lineup with Francis Duplessis and Virat Kohli, but along with Jaiswal, Hazelwood and Siraj, it's two really good players around alongside Harasaranga. I don't really think they got some weak points aside probably their middle order, and that's what it says. Their middle order is a bit raw, with 2 of the spots potentially occupied by Wright and one of Mitchell Luma or Ludovic Shidusu. That leaves Maxwell and Dinesh Kirk with slightly greater responsibility, and Maxwell hasn't really performing well with their responsibility so far for Australia. So I think they might be a bit weak on the side, but yeah, let's carry on and have a look at Gujarat Titans. Jason Roy, Shubham Gill, Vraj Shakna, Abhidev Mahona, Matthew Wade, Haknik Paja, Rahul Taoda, Rashid Khan, who fucking love Rashid Khan, one of the better spinners in the world, Asik Kashur, Lockie Ferguson, and Mohammad Shami. Now, you look at that team, it's very good, but it has some weak points. Yeah, like I said here, they're inexperienced in the batting. They could shuffle someone like Matthew Wade higher up the order, but that means they could also find themselves in deep trouble if a clutch of early wickets fall. If Hardik can't bowl, the 5th bowler's quota could also be a potential sore spot. Now, I'm a bit interested on that point because I think they have a decent team and they've got some good players in Flocky Ferguson, Shami, bowling-wise, and Gill and Roy batting-wise, with Matthew Wade in there as well as their wicketkeeper and puncher. Now, I think that this is going to be an interesting team-wise, but I will tell you right now, I think that the winners will be... will be the Super Kings. They've got Devon Conway opening, Moeen Ali, not Muhammad Ali. They've got Conway, Ali, Dhoni, Jadeja, Bravo, Shada, Milne, and those are the main guys I know. I feel like they have the strongest team. I don't know if they'll win it, but I hope they win it. I think Devon Conway can shock the world, and yeah, I think that's what it is. What's going to happen, but yeah, that's me for the IPL auction of this year. I looked at New Zealand players, looked at the possible 11s that have been picked up by the teams. Thank you for listening to and going through these teams with me and having my opinion on what has happened in the IPL auction. I'm glad that you guys listened in. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and this was your catch-up of the IPL auction. I'll see you guys next time. This has been Josh McQuaid from the Sunday Cricket. I hope you guys keep listening and enjoying this. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.